Boo! When I was growing up, there were 3 games that sat decisively upon the pinnacle of gaming performance for me. These games were Final Fantasy Tactics, OG Final Fantasy VII, and Xenogears. They defined who I was as a gamer and implanted rose-tinted, nostalgia-covered lenses deep into my eye sockets to cement my love for them and to force me to never question their greatness. Well, the time has come to rip those lenses from out of my skull and do some thorough questioning. The time has come to review Xenogears. Xenogears is a JRPG with a 3D world full of 2D characters. Unless if you consider the robots to be characters, because those are also 3D. There's a world map, random battle encounters, turn-based combat, experience, loot, and other stuff that you might expect in your typical RPG. But it also has a few surprises thrown in that you might not expect. One of my favorites being the ability to run and jump all over the damn place. Hell yeah. The story goes something like this. An ancient alien civilization crashed one of their spaceships carrying a biological ultra weapon here a long time ago. The weapon creates humans on the planet in order to one day use them to restore itself to its former badassness prior to the crash landing. Thousands of years pass, civilizations rise and fall. Technology levels go off the charts, leading to the creation of all sorts of robots, called gears, and nanotechnology. Then that world falls as well. You play as Faye, a karate kid with multiple personalities and a severe case of amnesia, in a world where much of the past is either a secret or has been forgotten. A good grip of the population worships the long-lost superweapon as God, and the fancy robots of old are all buried in lost cities and caverns beneath the planet's surface. But it's not all a downer. You make a bunch of friends to quest with along the way. You fight forest creatures. You open treasure boxes. You dig up gears. You ride gears. You fight with gears. You upgrade your gears. You kill angels with your gears. That sounds familiar. And eventually you kill God with your gears. Naturally. Oh, and the final form of Faye's gear is named Xenogears. I think that about sums it up. Pretty cool story. I still dug that after all this time. But was the game still fun? Now that is not so simple. As cool as the story is, it's not presented very well. The dialogue is inconsistent and often downright confusing. There's so much potential to be explored here, but the delivery never fails to let it down. There are 2 different types of combat in the game, and they're both pretty unique. When you're fighting on foot, you get action points to spend on combinations of weak, medium, and strong attacks. You eventually learn combo attacks with these different combinations, gain more action points as you level up, and learn more combinations, some of which do elemental damage. It's pretty cool and fun to input the combinations, but all of the button combinations are the same for every character, and once you learn the more powerful combos, there's never any reason to go back and use the older ones. So you basically just end up using the same combinations with every character, whatever their most powerful attack is, over and over. Once again, there's definitely a lot of potential here, but the execution falls flat in some areas. When you're in your gears, there are still combos to be performed, but you gotta rev up your engines first in order to use them. Whenever you perform a basic, non-combo attack, your gear will shift up one mode, like shifting up one gear in your gear. Run, 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 run. You can do this 3 times, and each level lets you perform more powerful combos. Problem here is that the higher level combos never seem to do enough damage to warrant doing the extra basic attacks to get into those modes. Basically, the way to do the most damage is just to do one basic attack and then one level 1 combo attack. 1 basic attack, 1 level 1 combo attack. 1 basic attack, 1 level 1 combo attack. Rinse and repeat until the enemy is good and dead. The difficulty in the game is really swingy. Many of the battles are hard as hell, while others have enemies literally doing 0 damage to you. Equipment is key here. New armor on your gears or characters can really mean the difference between a battle being frustratingly unbeatable to you taking an easy cakewalk to victory. Something that is relatively well known about Xenogears is that the team ran out of time when they were creating this game and had to really rush on the second half. On the second disc of the game, the story is told almost entirely through chunks of narrative in a dark room with one character in a chair with a photo backdrop. It's kind of hilarious. I kind of think that they should have added some of these to the first disc as well, so then people wouldn't have had any idea that this was out of the ordinary. At this point in the video, I would like to take a few moments to shout out to our sponsor, Enchanted Candle and Bath Company. Their handcrafted product lines draw inspiration from fairy tales, fantasy, and popular culture, creating a unique collection of candles and soaps that nerds like us just can't help but love. My personal favorite scent is Fairy Garden. It's just fabulous and makes me feel fabulous, and there ain't no shame in that. Be sure to check them out at enchantedcandle.co, that is .co, not .com. Also, use promo code DANK2021 at checkout to get 10% off your entire order. I know it probably seems like I'm being pretty hard on a video game that I claim to love, but there is actually quite a bit of charm packed into this imperfect classic. The music is off the charts good and better than it really has any right to be. I actually have some of these songs on rotation in my main playlist in real life.
Run through the cold of the night as passion burns in your heart, ready to fight, a knife held close by your side.
The characters are all pretty cool. Saitan, Faye's librarian-esque adopted father figure, is a total badass who has more hit points, more speed, and just kicks butt better than anyone else. There's Bart, the one-eyed sand pirate prince, Ellie, the psionic enemy lieutenant turned friend, Billy, the gunslinging altar boy, Rico, the WWE heavyweight champion doing his best Blanca impression. There's this kid Maria, who has a super tough gear that shoots rockets out of its fingers, and some other kid that you find in a test tube. And then of course there's the absolute best character, Choo Choo. Need I say more? The animated cutscenes are stellar and still hold up great today. I actually prefer these immensely to the early days of CGI cutscenes. Xenogears has some of those as well, some of which were pretty good, others not so much. I can definitely see why this game appealed to me so much 20 or so years ago. Yikes, I am old. There was nothing like it at the time it released. It was full of new mechanics and themes that just weren't in other games. The Xenogears team swung for the fences and spared no expense. But in the end, it came up a bit short in some important areas. Those areas were a lot easier for me to overlook way back then, but not so much in my modern day playthrough. I give Xenogears 6.5 choo-choos out of 10.